Okay. Well, hello everyone. It is, it's 7:30 my time, and I'm just gonna wait a couple minutes to see if anybody pops on here. But in the meantime, I'm going to introduce myself. So my name is Cara Wray, and I'm a mindset coach for mothers who are ready to strip the mom guilt and own their ambition in business and family life. And tonight, we're going to be talking about your ability to receive. I'll go into detail about what this entails and what it is, but if you're popping on the video, please say hi. I would love to give you some love here. Last night, I didn't realize that my computer wasn't allowing me to see comments. So if I'm not catching anything, I'm going to check my phone too, because I have it here, so I have the ability to make sure I'm talking with you guys and responding to you. So, hey mama, how you doing? Thanks for hopping on again. It's the last night of our 3-day challenge. We're going to do a recap after too. Chris is outside cleaning in the garage, and so I'm just seeing if somebody else is going to pop on, and if they're not, we're just going to get right to it. But, so for those who are going to catch the replay, so there is an amazing mama that's in this group, and she made me this sweater, and it is so comfortable, and I'm so impressed with her. She owns a company called Prairie Stitches, and her name is Courtney, so she's in this group, guys. But how cool is this? Mom Life, 97% caffeine, 3% dry shampoo. It's so good. It's so comfy, and it's warm, and it's like stretchy. It's like a spandexy kind of material, and this hood is just, oh, this girl did great work. So if you need a hookup on sweaters, that's your girl. Now I'm gonna get to it now. That was a little bit of an off-topic tangent. And yeah, Mom, you definitely need one, 100%. They're so comfy and so worth it. And I told her today that I'm going to be ordering myself a couple more because I'm just that impressed and I just love it. Pardon me. So I already introduced myself, and so tonight we're talking about your ability to receive. So this is your ability to be given, presented with something, paid with something, and being able to receive that with no guilt. So I'm going to dive deeper into this, and I'm going to give you some life experiences, and there's no holds bar when it comes to the ability to receiving, because this all plays together in regards to your boundaries and your values and your self-care and your self-respect, and how you have the ability to receive. So I want to just get right to it. So when you're talking, so say for example, what do you do when somebody offers you dinner? I want to know. So I've had this before prior to when I did all this work and really thought about things and how people actually wanted to give me something and didn't want something in return. And this is the thing, guys. This is about receiving something and not having to give something in return, fully receiving it in your heart, in your soul, and allowing it to come through, and not feeling like you have to give something back right away. Having the ability to give something back is wonderful, but not just because somebody gave you something or did something for you. You don't just have to do that because you think you're expected to do that. There's no expectation there. And if somebody else has that expectation behind it, then they're not giving from their heart. And we'll talk about that too. So yeah, I want to know, what do you do if somebody offers you dinner? If you go out for lunch, for example, I've had this where a friend of mine's like, hey girl, I got your lunch. And I was like, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. She's like, no, literally I have this. I'm good. And so she ended up being offended because I didn't receive it. I wasn't just thanking her for the fact that she wanted to gift me with something. She wanted to gift me with lunch. And that's amazing. And I find that we live in such a world where we don't accept these sorts of gifts, where we think there's a hidden message behind it. And yes, some people you're going to talk to, that's going to happen, and there's going to be They're going to want something out of it. But a lot of the time, I would say 90% of the time, even probably more than that, people are being genuine about it. And they actually just want to give you something because internally it makes you feel good being able to give to somebody else, whether that's the pay it forward at the Tim Hortons line, because I freaking love that, you guys. When I go out in the morning and I get my coffee and all of a sudden they're like, don't worry about it. Somebody paid for your coffee. You know, the one time I paid for the next person behind it, and then so on and so forth. It's this big train. But one day, and people could take this as they wish, but one day I literally, I was like, I'm going to receive this. I'm going to receive this, and I'm going to take this all in because somebody wanted to make my day. And I didn't want to just do it because everybody else was doing it. I wanted to receive that this person was trying to make my day. And it did. It 100% did. And I allowed myself the ability to open up and receive that with no guilt about feeling bad for the person behind me. They're not there expecting you to pay for their coffee or their food in general. So I want to know what you feel when someone does that, or if you've ever had that experience. And so even when it comes to like going to a movie, it could be whatever stage, going for ice cream, going for coffee with your girlfriend, something where you've also offered someone something and they haven't taken it. Or have you said, it's okay, I got this covered, and then shit your pants because you didn't have enough money and you offered that, and now you're hoping that they say no, and then you get caught in that and then you feel guilty. We don't want to do that. This is all about learning when it feels good for you to do it, when it's genuine for you to do it, not when you're just trying to do it to make someone happy because you're not happy, because this has to come from the heart. Being able to give, to receive, all comes from the heart and this abilities. And we'll get further into this, but I hope this is making sense. And if you want to tune in, let me know. Give me some hearts or comment, or let me know what's going on, or I'll check my phone and see if anybody's commenting. But so far, I believe it is just my lovely Mama Tina. And if I'm right, let's see. It's not popping up for me. My lovely Mama Tina. Oh, and my Facebook's a little bit behind. So I guess I'll catch up on these later, and we'll just get right to it. So now, how do you get to the point where you allow yourself to receive? It's actually really simple. You allow it to happen. You make the choice, you make the decision to accept it, process it, feel it, and say thank you. It's just like somebody giving you a compliment. Have you ever, I feel like if somebody said no, I need to give you like the biggest praise if you say no to this question. But is there ever a point in your life where someone has complimented you and said, you know, you look like you lost weight, you look so good. And you're like, no, I haven't. I haven't at all. And you try to like deflect this, like you didn't actually receive that somebody was telling you you looked good, like you genuinely looked good. You were just pushing that aside. You didn't let yourself feel how good it is for someone to tell you that you looked good. Like, what if you were putting in a bunch of work? What if you were eating super healthy? What if you were kind of having a crappy day and somebody was like, you look so good, like you look hot? Accept the heck out of that. Like, it took me a long time, and like I had friends that would say to me, you know, Mama, you look so good. Like, you look like you've lost weight. You look healthy. You look happy. And I like brushed it off before. Where now, if someone genuinely says to me, you look like you lost weight, I'm like, thank you. I appreciate that. Do you think so? And it makes me happy. I'm not doing it as like an ego trip or anything. I'm doing it because it makes me feel good. And that person wanted to make me feel good. It's just like when I say to someone, they have a nice scarf or they have beautiful eyes. I've always actually in high school, I was always known for the girl who randomly complimented people. But this was genuine for me, guys. And I was all about a smell, like scents, really got to me. So some of them would easily give me headaches and some of them not. So I was able to find what did and what didn't. So when somebody genuinely smelled good, now this might sound funny to some people, but if they did, it just came out where I'm like, you smell good. It might be a really awkward comment, and some people took it really awkwardly. But it was coming, and it was genuine from my heart. And I remember his name was Robbie, and we sat beside each other. And the one day I passed him, and I was like, dude, you smell good. Like, ladies love this. And he laughed, and he's like, thank you. That's what I was going for. And he received it. He didn't take it as awkward. He didn't on me. He took it and received it because I was genuinely just telling him, giving him a compliment and telling him he smelled good. That is like probably the funniest story that I could probably come up with in regards to like giving a compliment and receiving it, because I wasn't expecting for him to like compliment me back and be like, yeah, girl, you smell good too. No, I didn't need that. I just wanted to let people know I was happy. Like if somebody genuinely made me happy, I'm like, thank you for making me happy. Thank you for going out of your way to doing these things. And, you know, it took me a while. I'm going to get a little deeper here. I'm going to talk about like my family and how it was difficult for me to receive compliments or to let certain negative comments go. So this is also going to be your ability to like let shit go. You're going to receive it and then you're going to process it and you're going to let it go. It's just like how we were talking about self-care and but this is huge in regards to compliments or when people are talking negatively about you. So your ability to receive them. And then when you implement your boundaries and values and you have self-care because you're taking care of yourself, you know your self-worth, you know who you are, your ability to receive that comment is going to bounce right off of you. Literally, it's just going to go, hey, bye. You're going to be like, okay. And it won't faze you because you deep down know who you are and you know what you stand for. And so negative comments, you won't receive the negative comments in a bad way. You'll receive them as, okay, that's your opinion. Cool. Adios. And shoo they go. So that's just one. I guess that's actually kind of a couple examples. But now I want to talk about another thing. So in regards to friends. So have you ever had one person that you've run into and you've always known them for being these people that always take things or they're always given everything and they never have to work for anything? Have you ever thought that they're just fantastically good at receiving? That they have opened their heart up to the fact that they can receive love, they can receive money, they can receive, you know, items such as like a computer or a phone or somebody will pay their bill. Like they have the ability to receive that. They're open and they're not closed off to receiving those things. Like if you're closed off and you have a negative opinion about it, then that's something that you need to work on. And that is something that goes deeper into your values and why it makes you upset and what boundary that's crossing. And if you know those things, this all ties in together, you guys. This actually, I could talk about this because when I first met my husband, all families are very drastically different. And I never, it took me a long time to open myself up to the fact that, you know, we needed a little bit of help a while back. Like 2 years ago, we didn't have a lot of money. We were stressed. We were living paycheck to paycheck, sometimes under and living in our overdraft. And my husband's like, you know, let's talk to my parents. And I could not bring myself up to doing that. And I don't know why. For some reason at that time, it was like not an ego thing, but I just felt like I wasn't good enough and that I wasn't providing enough for my family. And I was kind of living more in like my masculine energy, which we'll talk about later in regards to like feminine and masculine energies. And I just didn't have the openness to receive, and I didn't take it as a good thing. I just kind of thought somebody would have the ability to hold something over my head. And that is not what they were doing at all. You know, they were just trying to help and they were trying to like ease some stress and they were trying to, you know, they wanted me to be able to receive this in a good way. And so it took me some time, but then eventually when we did need the help and we got to that point where like we really needed it and we took the help that we needed. Now I'm so grateful that I did that because now we don't have to ask for money. Now we haven't been at that stage of needing to ask for money. We haven't been living paycheck to paycheck. We worked together. We worked through all those things and got to a point, but we had the ability, we had the opportunity given to us to get us out of that negative point. And nobody likes living in this like, woe is me, negative, I don't have anything, I don't have any money. And so once I switched my mindset and was like, okay, I can receive this. I can receive this in full. And I know, like, I'm genuinely the person that I said straight out, and this wasn't because I felt obligated. I was like, you know, we will pay you back. We will pay you back. And they were like, no, there is no need. We just want you to take this. We want you to move forward. We want you to build these things. We want to get you out of this stuff. And there was a lot of other reasons, guys, why this got to this point. And I'm not in this video going to go into that much detail about it because that is saved for a whole other time. But there's a lot of reasons for things. And finally, now I'm open to receiving these things. If it was the same with if somebody would come here to the house, like my mother-in-law or my parents or a friend of mine, and they'd be like, hey, I randomly picked this up for you, or I randomly picked this up for your kid, a cute little jumper or a cute little outfit. And I was like, dude, why? Why'd you do that? It was out of love. And so now I have the ability of just saying, thank you. Like, you freaking rock. Thank you so much. And my coach, I have a business coach, and she lights me the F up. Her name is Autumn Benson, actually, and it's her birthday today. So big shout out for her birthday. But when I hired her, my perspective just was blown out of the water. Hey, you popped on. I just said happy birthday to you, babe. Happy birthday. So thanks for coming on here. We were just talking about you and how going into investing into a coach and up-leveling my life, you helped me switch my mindset. You helped me have the ability to receive a compliment. You know, she genuinely would tell me that I was beautiful, that I had like a great mind, that I was intelligent, that I was smart, that I was had these great visions and these great plans. And she would tell me these things. And at first it was so hard for me to take those because I'd been beating myself down for so freaking long that I didn't know how to take them. And I was like, thanks, but like, I don't know how to take that. Like, then I would send compliments back. But now she can compliment me and I'm like, thank you so much, because it really hits home and I'm so grateful for it. And I loved it. And yeah, you jumped on just in time. See, universe, perfect timing. It's been good. So thankful to have you on here. Thank you. So talking about that and your ability to receive, sometimes it just takes somebody else to kind of shift that mindset a little bit and give you a different perspective. So, and that's the same thing with a friend that has the ability to get everything or receive everything. She is open-minded to get that, to receive all of that. She's open-minded for some people to give that to her. She isn't closed off to it. She doesn't have any guilt towards it. And I know that there's tons of moms on here that want the ability to receive. They want to go out and go shopping for themselves, but they're so guilty because they think that they need to do everything for their kids or somebody else or Joe Schmo. No. You deserve the ability to go to receive how great it freaking makes you feel to take care of yourself, whether that's a pedicure, whether that's getting your nails done, your hair done, getting nice clothes, something that makes you feel good about yourself. And that is also an ability how to receive and how to give yourself gifts and how for you to receive that. Like tomorrow, I'm going and I'm getting together with a girlfriend. It is my day off. I have no daycare kids. I have nothing else planned in my schedule. And I'm going with her and we're getting pedicures and we're going for lunch and we are going to be present together and in that moment and love the hell out of each other because we deserve that. And so I'm absolutely grateful that I have people in my life that want to do the same thing, that want to love on themselves and, you know, pamper themselves, make them feel good and go eat some delicious food and have laughter and be around one another. Like the ability to receive that is so good. I have been so excited for it that I want you to get to this point. I want you to be excited about this. Where is, oh, I love you too. And yes, being on it is still a work. Being a master receiver, it's still work. There's still days, there's still kind of hard days, and I still have those days where I'm like, you know, I kind of don't feel good, but you know, you get to these moments where you like have an epiphany where you realize that your mindset has changed. And I had another one of those moments this morning where I knew I wanted to show up better for myself, and this is what I talk about, and I do this for myself, and I wanted to show up also better for my husband. And so, you know, I had gotten up, I just put a hat on my head, and I was wearing my pajamas, and I felt frumpy, and I didn't want to feel frumpy anymore. So I got my ass in the shower. I got up, I did my hair, I made myself feel good. I dressed up like I'm not a person who wears a lot of makeup, but like I just put a little bit of blush on and like I felt so good. And so then accomplishing everything else in my day was magic. It just went together. And then I sat down and realized like, wow, I recognized that I was feeling like this. I changed this. So I changed this perspective and I allowed myself the ability to feel freaking good. And you all deserve to feel amazing. Just saying, like, if you don't, if you don't think you deserve this, we need to talk some more, because you deserve all the happiness this world has in store for you. So, I just want to talk about you being like graciously open to receive, like when we were talking about going out for dinner and somebody offers to pay. I want you to try to just accept something. Like if somebody offers to buy you a coffee, if somebody offers to just pick up the kids, if you're a mom, and pick up the kids, or pick up, like, my husband is amazing with this. He'll message me before he comes home. He's like, hey babe, is there anything that we need? And if we need milk, he comes and brings home milk. And I'm forever freaking grateful for the fact that he's doing that, and he's checking in, and he's seeing if we need anything. And it's not just for me, but damn right, that makes me feel so good, because he's listening. And, I want to talk about another subject. So when we talk about the ability to receive in your relationship, so that's from your friends, from your family, that's also from your spouse, and from your children. And it's the same thing how, like we were talking about yesterday, if you caught that video about children and their ability to receive love and how they fill their cups. And they fill their cups by your energy. And so you need to take care of yourself. You need to honor your boundaries and values to do that. And you need to have the ability to give and receive without taking back, because your kids can't afford to give to you. They need to kind of take from you, and not just because they haven't learned how to fill that cup up, if that makes sense. So I want to get into something a little deeper, and this can be really touchy for some women, but this is me, this is honesty, this is the blunt person I told you I am. And, I was talking with another coach, Olivia Celine, and my coach, Autumn Benzett, and we were talking about the ability, your marriage, your relationship, how you show up in your relationship, and how you show up in your business. And then they started talking about this awesome book that I'll get into. And so I ordered it. I'm just waiting to read it. But they also talked about, the trauma that you can have after giving birth, and like your openness to having sex in your marriage, and the closeness that brings, like the two of you together. I believe it deep down in my heart that it is a connection, and that when you have sex with your partner, or you make love to your partner, it is magical, and it is beautiful, and that's what it's supposed to be. And so after I had my daughter, I was completely closed off through postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, not understanding the balance between the two, and feeling like I had to do it all and be it all. And then our sex life went down the drain, because before I had her, I was so uncomfortable and so swollen that I didn't feel comfortable having sex in my own body. And then after, we're going to be really raw here. I had 22 stitches, and I was cut twice, 2 episiotomies, and it was a traumatic labor, and I lost a lot of blood, and there was just a lot of aftermath issues, and I couldn't get out of bed, and it was very painful, and I was very frightened to have sex with my husband. Not because I didn't love him, not because I didn't care about him, but because I was terrified of my body, and I wasn't connected back with my body, and I didn't know how to reconnect that. Like, I didn't know how to fix that. And I was not making that a priority. That's another thing, is I wasn't making it a priority, and I wasn't making myself a priority. So when my husband and I were having sex, it's not like I didn't want to enjoy it. I was so in my head, and I was so worried about everything else, and if it would be painful, how we're going to reconnect. And I was way too much in here than just allowing the process and allowing myself to receive the ability to receive pleasure, the ability to have an orgasm, that didn't happen. And I was trying, and it was happening, but not as frequently, not as as we wanted it to be. Like when we first were together, we had an amazing, people talk about like that romance novel kind of sex, like totally, hands down, we did. And I remember having this discussion with them and thinking, I'm going to ask these questions because I want this to get better. I want our relationship to thrive. And this is an important piece to our relationship. And I knew my husband was feeling the same. We talked about it. He wanted the same. He wanted more from this. And he knew that I was being closed off, and he didn't know why. And he wanted to figure this out. And so, Olivia Celine talks about yourself as like a goddess of a woman and your womb. And so she asked me this question because I believe she I'm not sure if she teaches this part or somebody else, but however, she had asked me the question of if I had ever placed my hands over my womb and asked and really thought about like what she was saying. And that really hit home for me because I didn't actually value my body as a goddess or myself as a goddess, or the fact that my body had this ability to create this amazing human being, and I birthed this child, and the traumatic experience, everything, the hormones, the trauma, the blood loss, everything that happens is a part of you. It's a part of you. And so, sorry, I was just checking. So it's a part of you. And I didn't know how to reconnect with that. And that really hit home for me because I didn't do that. I never placed my hands over top of my womb and asked how it was doing, or, asked it for answers. And I was like, wow, like, what am I doing? Why am I not loving myself? Why am I not taking care of myself? And so I believe it's actually in the book. I'm just waiting for it. But for anybody who's interested in like all of this stuff, the book Pussy. I've heard it is, people have highly recommended this, so I'm recommending it, and I will tell you how it is, and I'm excited to read it. But myself and my husband, finally I had this discussion with him where I was like, do you think I'm closed off? And he said 100% yes. And I knew in that moment that we needed to change that. We needed to like have some pact, and not a pact, but like talk with each other and openly communicate. And that was also one of my values, you guys, was communication. And I was not honoring that. And so I was not honoring myself. And then I was not giving myself the ability to receive. And I hope you're seeing how all of this ties in together on like self-care, boundaries and values, and the ability to receive, and how this all combines into one and meshes into one beautiful masterpiece. And so after I had this discussion with my husband, and I talked to him, and I was open with him, and I asked him the questions because he's not a mind reader. He doesn't know, and I'm not a mind reader about how he feels. So I asked him, and I asked him what he wanted to work on, and and I told him that I wanted to connect with him in that way again, and that I wanted this steamy freaking sex life with him, and I wanted to have the ability to receive again. I wanted this back. I wanted this back so bad. And I remember him sitting there just kind of like staring at me and being kind of in awe about the conversation, but he was also really excited about the conversation because he wanted this back. He wanted this part of his wife back, not just because he wanted to get laid, as people call it, but he wanted to be connected with his wife again on such a deeper level. And so in turn, having these discussions and talking with him, I told him, like, we are going to work on this together. I want to give to you just as much as you want to give to me, and we're going to make this freaking magical. And let me tell you guys, we did. And I am so grateful and pleased to say that we have an amazing sex life again, because we talked about it, we set boundaries, we realized we weren't honoring ourselves. I wasn't honoring him, and I wasn't honoring his time and how he felt, and I wasn't honoring myself. And so, I took that back. I grabbed that back. Like, you have the freaking ability to do this. And now in the relation to business and your relationship to self-care, I've been taking care of myself. Damn rights, I have been taking care of myself, because I know that I have to love myself for the woman that I am right now. And I can continue to love myself as I continually grow. So there's a little brain lapse there. So loving myself for who I am and in my business. Now I got to the point where I launched my coaching business, and I went and did a photo shoot, and I had never done these things by myself before. And I was regaining this confidence, and I was really digging into who I was as a woman and who I was as a mother. And I knew that I was craving more and that I wanted more. And so then, like, once me and my husband really had this massive, like, aha moment, everything freaking shifted for, like, in an amazing way, where myself and my husband, our communication got better. We were being very clear on what we wanted. I was being very clear on what I wanted. I knew what I wanted to be and where I wanted to go, and I wasn't going to let anybody stop me from doing it. And damn right, I'm still not going to let anybody stop me from doing it. Of course, I'm going to honor the moments where I'm feeling a little bit down on myself. I'm going to journal through it. I'm going to talk through it, and I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to work my way out of this. But if you don't know where you stand on something, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't know your boundaries and values, and you don't have the ability to openly receive this, and this has to do with the ability to receive, like I was talking earlier, positive and negative comments. It's important, because I've had people tell me that what I'm doing is stupid, that what I'm doing, nobody will understand, and that it's ridiculous, that it's bogus, and blah, 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 anything people could say. I could sit in there and I could listen to this, or I could kick ass in my business because I'm passionate as hell about this, and I want more women to feel empowered and to grab their life by the freaking horns and never freaking let go, and know that they can have everything that they've ever wanted. And it's literally all this game up here, because your ability to switch what somebody says negatively to positively, up here. It is your mind. It is your mindset. It is switching this mindset, but knowing yourself here, because when you know yourself, this also changes. So went on a little tangent there again too, but the ability, so it launched my business. Okay. I continually invest in myself and in my business, and I am so excited for what's coming. And I'm going to talk about this at the end here, but things come clearly. I have released a lot of old limiting beliefs, a lot of negative things that were holding me back. I've started to look at myself in the mirror and love myself. Like, I remember I got up this morning and I got dressed to make myself feel good, and I looked in the mirror and I was like, damn, bro, you fine. But I was making myself feel good because I genuinely felt great. So, sorry, my husband just like creeped me out by the window. I'm sitting in my living room, his head popped up. But you guys, like, having the ability to receive that and like to receive pleasure, it really takes you from like here down to here and recenters yourself, and having the ability to receive that allows you, because that is real, that is open, that is being vulnerable, that is and I even said that to my husband, like, I am scared to be completely 100% open and vulnerable with you. Like, I know that you love me, and I know that you care about me, but I need to like really tell myself and really know this in my heart that you do. And I know that he did, because I married him. I wouldn't marry him for no reason. But I knew that I needed to change something about myself. And so, you know, I can continue to go on here, but my challenge for you guys, sorry, I'm sitting here, it's cold in our house. My challenge for you guys is I want you to receive a compliment. When somebody says that you're beautiful, or they compliment your hair or your eyes or your clothes, I want you to just say thank you. I want you to honor that they said something. I want you to honor yourself. And then I want you to think about, like, if somebody says, hey, you have a nice sweater, be like, yeah, it is pretty nice, hey? And then just really receive it. Don't let it bounce off of you. Really take it in. Don't feel like you have to compliment somebody back, because you don't. You just have, I just want you to receive something. Receive it. Whether that's, say, a coffee from Tim Hortons, or going out for supper with somebody, or just a simple compliment. I want you to receive it and fully receive it, and then journal how it made you feel about not feeling the guilt of having to compliment somebody else, or make somebody else feel good, or give something back to somebody because they gave something to you. Like, it's crazy when you have this ability to receive, how it can multiply other things in your life, such as, like I was talking about, business. I was hesitant about investing in myself and how I was going to do this, and I had self-doubt. And then after opening up to my husband and talking to him and having that ability to receive, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I am all in. And I have had nothing but like amazing things being told to me now. I've felt support. I've had the community grow. I've felt stronger as a mother and as a woman, because my stepkids are asking me, like, what are you doing? Like, what are these videos? These are so great. And they want to be on here, and they want to like live in this energy. And I want to be present for them and teach them that they can live in this too. So, but I also want to show them and teach them that they need to take care of themselves, that they need to love themselves for who they are. They have both been struggling with, the bullies, and so they're worried about going back to school and struggling with being bullied. And so trying to talk to them about knowing who they are and standing tall in who they are and why somebody may do that, and how they might feel and how it's projecting onto them. And so, I just want my kids to know that they also have a choice in how they feel about things and their boundaries, and that we have boundaries as adults, and same with kids. They can too with their friends and growing up. And this has also helped them with peer pressure, because if they really honor and know their values and boundaries, you're damn right they're not going to fall too deep into the whole peer pressure thing. Shit happens when you grow up and you make mistakes, you learn from them, but we are trying our best to give them a solid ground to work with, and they can do what they choose with it. But I want them to know it's the same thing now, where I tell them that they have a choice in how they feel, where they can sit miserable for an entire day and feel crappy about something that they did, or mad that their sister accidentally broke their toy, or mad that their brother took their iPad away. They could stay mad and miserable for the rest of the day, or they could choose to see it in a better light and be positive. And my goodness, has this changed our family dynamic in a huge way, because we're listening to each other. We're talking about our decisions. We're talking about how we feel about things. I said last night in my video how my stepson was telling me that he loves me, and that is huge, you guys, like massive. My stepson, when I first met him, he was this boy who had this long hair in front of his face, and he wouldn't show anybody his eyes or anybody his face, and he hid from the world. And if you look at him now, like he came here today, he has short hair and he has neon green highlighter hair for school. And he has this bright smile, and he's these beautiful milky brown eyes. And he went from being this closed off child to this absolutely open, warm, brilliant child, because he knew he got to learn himself. He got to speak up and set his own boundaries and talk about how he feels, and he knows his values. Like, we talk about the value system with him, and it can make a massive change in your guys' life. So that was the challenge for tonight, is that I want you to have the ability, or to receive a compliment. Receive something, please. I want to know how it feels. Genuinely, don't go searching for it. It'll happen, whether it happens today or it happens in a week, you guys. Just let it happen. Let it happen. And then watch later that day, things just go boom. Or I also want you guys to give someone a compliment without searching for something back. No, recognition, no, oh, why didn't this person compliment me? Just genuinely giving somebody a compliment and making them feel lit the F up. And watch what happens in your day. Watch what happens in a week from then, when you genuinely give from your heart. So I'm going to recap here, guys. So day one was the first day. So the first challenge was 30 minutes a day. And that was 30 minutes of self-care a day, whatever that looked like to you. Journaling, reading a book, going for a walk. There's quite a few. Having a bubble bath, sitting down watching Netflix. Pardon me. Something for you. 30 minutes a day. Listening to a podcast. Podcasts are great. I love them, actually. And then day two, there was actually 2 challenges. And I'm having a little bit of this is what happens when you do a lot of stuff, you guys, and you talk about a lot of things. Oh, yes, I remember. Okay. I wanted you to, I didn't even find the page, but I wanted you to write down 3 of your values and then expand on your boundaries. So what value that might be, so whether that is family, and what boundary you have with your family in regards to your family, for example. So if you have kids and you need to set a solid boundary with your family in regards to your parenting, what value does that come across? Do you value respect? Do you value honesty? Do you value communication? Does it interlock with a few of those? That's what I wanted you to figure out. And then my second challenge was for you to embrace your parenting, for you to love yourself, to embrace it, to fully take hold of it, and not let what anybody else says wreck what you're doing as a parent, because what you're doing is great and your kids need you, not the other person. They want you. And then today's challenge was having the ability to receive and to give a compliment. And so just graciously giving something, whether that's, a coffee, if that's just a compliment, something. I love complimenting people at the store, people I don't know. Like, I'm like, hey, that's a beautiful dress, especially if it is beautiful. Like, it's genuine for me. If I think somebody's wearing something good, or their hair looks great, or I love their hair, I tell them. I freaking tell them, because I want to make their day, because I genuinely love when other people are lit up and the other people are feeling great about themselves. So I'm going to be launching the branding for this tomorrow, but my graphic designer sent me this juicy photo, but that's not going to be shown until tomorrow. But I am launching something extremely powerful, and this whole training will dive much, much deeper into your boundaries, your values, who you are as a woman, when you're craving that balance and the thriving family life, and that everything kind of simultaneously comes together. So I'm only going to tell you what it is called, and then I will go into the juicy details tomorrow, and I will show you the branding, and I will reveal it all to you. But I am releasing a 14-day program, and it is going to be so freaking amazing. There's going to be details all about it, how many trainings, how many lives we're going to do, the coaching that's available with me. But you guys, so this is so juicy. This 14-day program is called Becoming the Empowered Mother, a 14-day journey from burnout and overwhelm into a badass wife, mother, and entrepreneur who has it all. You guys, this is so good. So I'm going to drop all the juicy information and details and when this is going to launch, and it's going to be amazing. This is something that I have been curating and dreaming about for a long time, just like this community launch and launching my coaching business, but actually being able to dive deeper, like together with a group of women who really want to freaking go all in and they want to make these shifts in their life. This is for you. Like, there's so much good stuff that's available to this, you guys. And there's only exclusive things that are going to be brought to this program. It's so good. So I am super excited to tell everybody about this, and I'm so excited to launch the branding tomorrow. I will be launching the branding at 11:11, so I'll make a post again in the morning. And please let me know if you catch the replay on this, you guys. I want to give you all the love. I'm going to cut this video now because I am going to honor my time. I'm tired. I have days off tomorrow my husband's working, but I'm going out with my girls. So I'm also going to see my beautiful baby niece. So I hope you all have the most fantastic Wednesday evening. People call it hump day, hump day. And so I'm actually going to leave this with like a little kind of cheesy joke because I'm just in that kind of mood today. What kind of peppers? Oh, now I forget what it is. That's funny. Now I gotta pull it up. But I said this to my husband today, and I gotta tell you his response. So, what do peppers do when they're angry? Anybody know? They get jalapeno face. Oh. Okay, I just really wanted to leave this night on a really good note. My husband, I was like, yeah, did you get my joke? He's like, yeah, but like I was super confused at first because I thought that you're eating peppers and they made your stomach angry. You guys, it was good. So on that note, I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being accountable for yourself and joining in on this 3-day challenge. I am so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for all of you. I love you all. Thank you so much. Have the best night. I will talk to you all tomorrow, and we'll talk more about these juicy details for this 14-day program. It's going to be wicked. Okay. Take care, guys. Bye.